Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Return to Consciousness. We're going to call it Return to Consciousness 2021, Episode 1, so we can keep a track of these beautiful moments. So today I am live with April Betty.
Hello.
Hello, hello. We have so much to share for 2020 and all the all these amazing things that have been happening. My first day back, so we're definitely running the board and doing what we can to be live. I want to talk about today some questions that people have asked. Also, talk about how people are working through the chaos of 2020 and how people are able to keep a harmonious outlook. What about you? So you had a major event happen this week with your daughter.
Yes, I did. She was in a car accident, her and her husband. And it is very difficult because she will probably be in bed for 3 to 4 months, and she's only 20 years old. So it's changed everyone's lives that's in her life. However, when I think about how it all happened, somehow in the divine plan, everything lined up how it's supposed to, if that's even a possibility in tragic situations like that. And it's hard. And so I've learned now, when someone's like, how are you doing? Even just talking about it, I fall apart. I'm like, if I'm not doing well, I'm just like, I'm not doing well. I just say it. Where before my life, I think I would have been like, oh, fine, everything's good. But now I'm just like, I'm not well. Because it is hard. But
So it's like giving yourself permission to not be okay some days.
oh, yeah. But verbally being okay with it.
Yeah.
Inside, you could be like, it's okay to not be okay. But usually you don't say yeah, I'm not okay, or something like that.
And I feel like that it's very important. One thing that some of us had the opportunity to learn in 2020 was either really be in the chaos and find parts of yourself that you can create an illness from, or I guess not really find, but you're rediscovering, or you're discovering hidden deep pieces of yourself. This is for me. This is personally of what we brought this show together. And I want to thank everybody for showing up, and the people that this morning was a little bit, I forgot how to run the board for a minute, and then I realized that I didn't hit some buttons, so I had to kind of go in it, and I was a little bit, the remembering for me was a little bit of a stretch right now, and that's what life's about, and that's one of the things I've learned in 2020 is so many things changed, so many things shifted from moment to moment, not year to year, 6 months, 2 months, from moment to moment. So many things shifted, and the realities of even in the U.S., but of other countries, it was like every moment was like a different reality and dimension. And I found it as an opportunity, as hard as it was at times, as to grow and expand and really deep dive inside and find those experiences that I grew from to really grow in 2020. And I'll share more of that later of my expansion and the great experiences that I had and how exciting that it is to be back on the show, even though I'm a little, I don't know the word, flustered or fluttered, or I forgot how many buttons there are and how off guard I just was thrown. But thank you for sharing that little bit of your story. Today is about observing your own energy through situations, experiences, because my discovery has been that the greatest expansions come through experience. You can go class after class after class, and you can grow great communication, you can grow great connections, but until you've experienced that deep sorrow, the deep pain, the deep suffering through experience, not that I would wish it on anybody, but the great unfailing love that we both have, that I have for humans, for people, and their knowing that they can expand. I found it happens through experience. But the best thing I did find out is not everyone has to go through what I do or what I did to grow. That by sharing the experience full-heartedly, the things that I've learned, to share with you people, you beautiful, beautiful loved ones, to share with you those intimate moments that are sometimes uncomfortable, that people will realize that they don't have to necessarily go through that experience. They can start trusting, break down certain belief systems and of judgment. And then that's when the unfailing and unconditional love comes through. And the experience that we share a lot together, I realized that what part of the experience of your daughter being in, and your son-in-law being in a car wreck this weekend, the biggest strength through your experience, how you handled it the way you did. I know it was very painful, but I know through talking to you, you showed up the best you could.
Yeah. Everything was perfect the way the timing landed, just because she was texting me because she wasn't driving. And right before she texted me, she sent a picture where they were. And I said, "Where are you?" And then I never heard anything. And then I got the call that they're in an accident. So I was already going up north. I had to get away back. Everything just, she was in surgery. And while I'm making my way back, and the minute I got there, they were like, "The doctor's ready to see you guys." So like everything, it just all worked, like everything aligned. So when I look back, I'm like, it aligned perfectly. However, what I've learned the most is and it was a reminder, like when my son had passed away like 25, 26 years ago, how is it like so many people want to help because, they don't know what to do. So can I bring you food? Can I do this? And it was such a good reminder that, what I think was the best is something someone did for me, and they left flowers on the door. It was just a thought. Like I was reminded, when other people are in a situation, how could I show up and be helpful if they say, "No, I don't need anything," like just leaving something at the door. And so it was a good reminder for me how I could help other people when they're going through hard times, and be helpful instead of just like asking them questions or, I don't know if that makes sense. It was just a good reminder for me. And when we do go through these events, it helps us to connect with other people and understand, And so like people who've been and have their children in car accidents, you could relate more. You're like, "Oh yeah, I understand what you're going through." So I love it when people have, experiences that you've been through, because you could lean on each other. 'Cause it's not the end. She has all kinds of new equipment in her ankle that will be with her forever.
So imagine you listeners out there, having the strength to go through different traumas. There's a lot of people that have and that are going through things with either internally with ourselves, with their family members, or with the work that they do for so many. And I've recognized that when I asked the universe this week, I said, "What can I help people help humans right now in this universal shift? How can I help you? How can I best be there to serve them? Because that is what I died. That's what I came back for. I learned the universe. I learned how unfailing love it was. I learned the harmony." And I asked, and Spirit kept saying, "You." And I'm like, "You? What does this mean?" And they're like, "You." And then they started doing this "you," like a U, like a letter U, like this, like a U. And I'm all, okay. So I wanted to do the U, and I started spelling it out, U. I don't get it. They said, "You are unique." And so when I finally started writing these little letters to myself, I found my pages are nuts right now, but it's the universe is within. And when you look at that U, the letter with a capital U, and you think you are unique, you are on purpose, and when you dive deep within, you realize the universal soul is within you, and the power begins. And I said, "Okay, well, how do I share this with them?" And I hear again, Spirit says, "Just share." So for you to grow in unprecedented ways, there's you again, and discover your hidden treasure deep within inside of you, that uniqueness that you are, you get the opportunity to take these moments and really observe how you show up without judgment. There's no judgment in the universal soul. In the universe, there's no judgment. It is a beautiful, when I died and I saw this unfailing love, there's the you again. I love it. That's my new letter for the month. I could see that, or I could feel the harmony of all things. And then April and I were actually talking about, last week about staying like in our divine power and really just learning from our experiences and maybe observing other people where they're at. And the biggest thing is to be happy for them where they're at, allow them to be where they're at, no matter what you see. Because, there's things that we see people choosing to do in ways and paths they're going, and we're not able to, it's not our design to step in. So I feel like this you by design. What does this mean? What is you by design? What's your design? You designed it before you came, you. And the only way to step into your unique, universal power is to observe who you are and unconditionally love you with no judgment, because frequency and energy wise, there is no way. The energies do not match judgment and unconditional love. They don't. And so when you start loving you, looking in your mirror and like, you are beautiful. There's a you in that word too. You're just like, whoa, this is amazing. How can I grow from this? Through experience, you expand. And I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt. And I got this weekend expand, which I'm very grateful for the people that showed up in my experience this weekend and helped me through a universal shift, a paradigm transformation station. I don't know what you wanted to call it, but it was a whole reality is when I realized that the paradigms of realities, we're all living in a different one, and how important it is to love people where they're at and love you so much that you realize that either in the past, without going back there, in the past, you lived a certain aspect of the person that has been drawn to you, or you're living it at that time, or you're going to. And right then you have like the snowflakes. That's what I want to talk about today too, is like these crystal snowflakes, that everyone is unique. There's no two alike. And they also fall in same as the crystals, which they take millions and millions of years to develop. And there's not one crystal that's alike in the whole entire earth itself. So the next half, we are going to share a meditation a little bit and talk. Our subject is on the crystals and what the soul is in the crystals, and or the meaning of the soul crystals, and so on. But is there anything that you want to share while we're in our first half discussion? Because I just talked a long time. Sorry.
No, when you were saying something, it made me it reminded me. So like when you see somebody going down a certain road, you sometimes, or you need to allow them that space for them to learn and grow. You may know what the outcome's going to be because you've had these similar situations, and then that outcome comes out how you thought. However, you have to like step back and allow people to have their experience, because they won't be able to learn and grow if you don't. It's just like one of those things.
And in my several years of 8 something years of working intensely with people, 12 working on myself and healing my own body, I learned that I couldn't learn, or I didn't learn. I probably could have. I don't know if there's an option or wiggle room in that, but I didn't learn from other people telling me to do or not to do something. I had to like jump in and do it myself. And then working with so many clients over the years, in the beginning, I would tell them how to do it, or I would say, oh, this is what your design looks like. Go do this. You're going to be this amazing, this is what you're going to be. And eventually most of them have got to where they were going to be, the ones I started with. But they had a road of questioning, because they didn't, it was my story that I was telling them. They didn't find it discover it and remember on their own. So missing blocks, building blocks of crucial foundation that we all need for a spiritual journey to have confidence when you step into step into your a power, and you can actually say that out loud, believe it, and trust it, and not let anybody influence your auric field is phenomenal. Because there's so many people telling us, especially us workers or us light workers, way showers, key code holders, seeders. And remember, you can be a medium of an energy one day. You can be a soul medium. You can be a spirits medium. You can be a gatekeeper, a frequency holder, on and on and on. That might be your purpose for a year, 2 years, 5, 10, doesn't matter. But you sometimes shift, and you'll shift back. And that's also an energetic experience that people have been asking me a lot of questions about that. They're like, well, I thought I was a spiritual medium, but now I went to the soul work. I'm like, that's okay. Because like I was born talking to the spirits, and in a 4.5 I died, I talked to the angels. But yet I bounced back and forth my 45 years. Yes, 45. And I feel like people feel like sometimes when they're learning something new as a spiritual worker that they're doing something wrong because it doesn't feel like the old paradigm. So have you had that experience?
With myself?
Mm-hmm. Or witnessed it in the expansion of others?
Yeah, it's tough. I bounce around in different realms, and sometimes it's hard to stay in where I should be. So I'm over here. However, I think overall it's good because you're able to multitask. So you could be having that conversation with the spirit or angels or whoever or whatever, and you still could be in this realm over here talking to so-and-so while you're doing this or doing that. So it builds character.
Yeah, it does. And the ultimate gifts that that people have tapped into, your untapped potential. There's the use again. There's just so many that Universal Soul is like just sharing with me right now, the untapped potential. My potential is, or not my potential, my doing, the thing that my gift that I did discover while dying, and for 10 minutes and then coming back, and I've been called a healer. It wasn't self-proclaimed. It just happened. I'm telling you, I'm sharing with you, beautiful souls. I see you. Those ones that come to me and say they are afraid to show their gifts or abilities because of judgments from others. Don't be afraid. The ones that need you now, which in this world of uncertainty, there is people that will listen. They may not reach out right at first, but when you get your confidence in your gift, and it might not be the same. Probably won't be the same healing as mine, because it doesn't matter what your gifts are or what you do. You do it so uniquely. Someone can have the exact same name as you, the exact same formula as you, but they do not move their hands the same as you. They weren't kissed by that exact starlight, that God essence, whatever you want to call it, at that exact time, at that exact birth, with that exact frequency to heal, to be compassionate, and so on. So be confident in your gift that it shouldn't look like somebody else's. Even if you learn from other people, always add your own unique you. And that is why it's so important for people to gain confidence at this time. Mother Earth needs us. We need each other. And that's why we don't have all these gifts, and we probably do, but they're held dormant so that we call on each other. So no matter where you're at in your spiritual journey, you still need the beginner. You still need the advanced. You still need the master. You still need the enlightenment. You know, I've done many things, and the only thing haven't mastered really any. Especially self-love. That's what I wanted, like that self-love thing. I have enlightenment. I have all these different things, and that self-love is the one thing that I'm like, man, that's the thing I need to remember the most. And guess where that begins? Universal love.
Well, and I think sometimes people don't even realize they have gifts because they're expecting it to look like so-and-so's gift. So they're not even realizing. Or you may just realize, like for me, I just thought everybody thought this way and did this thing. And it's almost embarrassing. I'm 45 too. It's almost embarrassing to admit, like, I just thought people saw things they see or hear things they hear. I really did until a few weeks ago. I really just thought this is normal. Everyone does that. I didn't think there was anything different about the things that I do than anyone else. I just was really in my bubble, I guess.
And that's a lot of people. Well, until you have it taken away from you, you don't recognize you have it. And that's all things, because you're born with it. You were born with a unique energy. You're born with this design of desire, of passion, of love for life. That's what we were. We were born in a spark of light. We were created in unconditional love, and to be great, and to come down and learn self-love and share it with others, then bring the unity together so that we realize we're all oneness. We have this oneness heart. We have this immaculate love. We're sovereign humans. We're this amazing benevolent being having this human experience, and let's share and create. And somewhere along the line of growing up and our experiences, we forget that. But the most amazing thing is you can remember it because it's yours. No one can take it away from you.
Yeah.
No one. And no matter what your experiences is or your choices that you make, no one can take it from you.
No.
It feels crappy for a couple minutes when you realize your choices put you down this road and that road and up here and upside down and inside out, and then you're like, crap.
Then you could thank you for that.
But the greatest gifts that I discovered is the ones in those moments.
Oh, yeah.
I can say my gifts. I'm like, I've stood in healings on this. I've used this energy. I've mastered this frequency, so I can share with this person. I have 10,000 people in this area. There's this case study right there. The one things that I didn't, that laid untapped, were those moments in suffering. The light I got the opportunity to pull out the greatest gifts, and a lot of them are nameless. You cannot, when it's an energy and a frequency of unfailing love, unspoken word that just moves through you and gets you through those moments.
So if you're going through hard times, just know it serves a purpose, and it will be of great benefit to you on the other side. It just is hard to see when you're sitting in that and feeling that and going through it. And when you come out the other side and you're able to see more clear, then you realize what a gift it really was.
And when you're in the storm, you can't see outside those clouds. Mm-mm. But when you're on the other side, it's like, holy snap. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you know, some people choose the opportunity, like 2020. It was a storm. I recognize some people took 2020. They took certain situations, certain things they saw, felt, known, and seen as a very energetic destruction to themselves, and decide to go hibernate or self-destruct, or some took it as the opportunity to grow, expand, and be a better version of themselves. And some people chose to do both. But those people that chose to do both got up every time. And I am one of them. And we will share that story when I am guided to. But today, and our introduction is not that day. We're going to be doing a podcast. We're going to be more personal and intimate about things, take phone calls. And that will be set up in a couple weeks. So we're super excited about that as well. So
another thing too. Oh, we're going to break.
Yeah, we go to the second half. We're going to do meditation. We'll talk for a minute, do a little bit of meditation, connect you to the crystalline caves, and have a delightful time. Thank you. Be right back.
Enjoy your weekly constitutional, Saturday mornings at 10 on Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
You're listening to Radio St. George 100.3 FM. We now welcome you back to Return to Consciousness with your host, Nicole.
Hello, all you beautiful people. We are having a little bit of camera difficulties, but so on Facebook Live, April is maybe just move the camera down. We're super excited about doing the second half of Return to Consciousness. Your host today is Nicole Ashton. That's me. And April Betty.
Sorry, I messed with the camera too much.
That's what happens. We're back in studio, just excited about the about starting this back up and relearning everything. It's interesting how when you take a break, you have to remember relearn everything. That is only in the short time of I don't know, 3 months or so. It just brings me to think about like being born. Having all this intelligence, all this universal love, all this universal knowledge, this joy for life, this passion for life. And when you look at a baby child, a little baby and then a child, I guess that means, you really see the adventure in their eyes, the joy in their eyes until they fall and their parents say, no, don't, you're gonna hurt, and there's a fear installed in the children, and we experience that through life and then our own choices, our own experiences, and we do tend to fall back asleep. But you can remember and you can return to consciousness. And it's by baby steps, it's little steps of stepping out of your regular routine. Trusting yourself to do meditation for the first time, trusting yourself to ask hard questions, showing up on the radio scared to death because you forgot that you had to push buttons and then nothing's working. I mean, that's everyday life. And most of us, I realize right now, is we don't laugh at us. You don't laugh at yourself. You are like
I do all the
critical. I do too, but I don't know better because I've always been this way since I'm a little child. So, but I do watch people regularly not know how to be fun with themselves. And when you do something silly, you're like, oh my goodness, really? That is the art of being you. That is the art of being. It's when you just realize that these pieces of you that the universe has gifted you and that you created before you came are that a gift, and they're this beautiful presence. And in the present moment, when you get to laugh at yourself and bring joy, you get that feeling of home. Like that universal love, being home, feeling joy. Joy is the highest frequency on the Schumann scales, on all the scientific experiences or experiments, case studies. Joy is it's not the highest frequency, but it's one of the highest frequencies you can have. That's an action that you're not like, it's unconditional love in motion. There have sometimes no reason, like unconditional love for me is like, and most people's easiest thing is like their children, their family. But other than that, you kind of most people don't have that love for all things. And so when you go to joy, it's the action. You just like love everything. Everything is just so new and exciting, like the baby child. So you get to take the opportunities to really soak in the joy and make more of them, make those moments, create those moments, create that space, be with your family more. Enjoy the little things. Simple. It was simple when you were born. Are you doing okay over there? Are we seeing you now?
I don't know. It's good. I'm here. That's what matters. I'm here.
I'm showing up.
Yes, I am.
That is. How are you showing up? How are people showing up? You listeners, how are you showing up for you? There's some things that we're going to talk about the crystals and some questions that we've got asked, and so we're going to work with the crystalline caves today. There's many things and many ways of opportunities to clear yourself, to surround yourself, to keep good energy. And crystal grids are one thing that are amazing. And I don't know if you can see this this pyramid. So it goes into, on Facebook they can. On the radio, it is rose quartz going into a V. It's a very large piece. And one of the most important pieces are the celatine, which this is a big long one. I clear all my crystals with this, and it was only about 2 years ago that I realized crystals are very important. I hadn't learned about them, so I didn't know that they were important. I just went out, did my work, and I kept getting sick with all the clients. I didn't clear and I didn't close my aura. I didn't know how. And I learned that you can actually train the crystals to be there for you. And the most amazing thing is they take millions of years to grow, just like the snowflakes. They're all unique. So every one of these crystals are unique. Go find some that match you, from little teeny ones. Like I have little teeny quartz, and I have they have heart shapes and all different sorts of crystals that I'm able to put around me. And I realized this last year I needed them most because I was challenged, and I was challenged, given the opportunity to grow in many, many ways. And so that answers some of your guys' questions. I do crystal grids. I'll put them up on Facebook if anybody is interested in looking more into the crystals, and they will be infused with energy of protection and the angels. So for those who know that I work with the angels a lot.
Crystals are good too. Like I have a big heart one like that it's on my deck in my backyard, and I put them all around like the four corners of my house because it protects your house. So you could put them around your house too, anywhere you want to put them, or take them with you. Keep them in your pocket.
And they can access anywhere. As Mother Earth is her creation, she has the crystalline caves, which is around her heart core, and they're everywhere you go. The crystalline caves are amazing, and then in the middle is a liquid diamond flame that is the liquefied crystals, and so we can frequency or energetically tap into those anytime. And what the crystals do is they allow you a safe space. They allow you a vortex. The most important thing is that we'll share today in a second is to connect to that God source that created you life, that breathes you unfailing love every day. You connect directly to the heart of that above and below, the heart of Mother Earth, and you put yourself in your own tunnel of light, allowing only what is for your highest good to come in. This will assist you. But what you can do as you're making these declarations is infuse the crystals. And so I feel like snowflakes. I want to share more on snowflakes. I don't have time this
You
week.
really like snowflakes.
I really like
today.
snowflakes.
You really do.
They're snow crystals. Anybody see these crystals? They're the story behind them is they're so unique. There's not one that's the same. And these studies have been going on for a while. I got a little bit flustered because I was overwhelmed sitting here, so I lost my story. I want to go research it, but there's a lot of research on it, and I can share it in the comment button. And again, thank you all for supporting the show and being very, remain flexible at all times, because it's spirit guidance. Sometimes we don't know what's going to happen. And also, the show was created in the light of you. It was when I was first guided to do the show. It was to best assist the highest good, how to get the message out of your design, how one can fall in love with their self. And at the moment, several years ago, I didn't realize that the show was going to put pieces of my own self in front of me to do that for me. I was living joy. I still live joy, but I was living other people's joy because I was seeing so many people. My whole life was that. And I have found I have made boundaries and declarations and all these beautiful things that have been creating me to have a personal life as well. So healers, that's really important.
Do you know what's helpful too? Is everything you would go to do for someone else, do for yourself. So like for me, it used to be so easy. Like if so-and-so wanted something, so much easier just to buy it for them or do this for them, whatever. Just start doing it for yourself. I even thought about just putting roses on my front door on the days that I just wanted them. Because why does it matter where they came from, right?
Yeah.
If they're there.
Yeah, and you are, well, one thing I recognize about you is the selflessness of setting aside the ego and then putting I don't know, you kind of, it's not about you, it's about everybody else, but at the same time, and you'll show up, but the most amazing thing and the most power of finding you is realizing that when you do that for somebody else, that is doing it for you. And that will create that. I mean, you are what we show up as a human. We show up to be, even at the baby state, to be born into this world to find love, joy in each other. And that's so when you're doing something for someone else, it automatically starts coming back to you.
Yeah.
So
It does. And then it becomes easier to do it for yourself because now I'll be like, well, I'm just going to do that for myself. And I'm just as happy. And I think, too, when you are going through certain things, once you've gone through some really hard things and really traumatic things, you get so good at it, if you choose to, that you know what you need to do. You know your next steps when you're open to it, to stay like in a space where you're able to still function and do things. That doesn't, I think if you're going through something and you go through it again, you might learn and be like, oh yeah, if I just do this or do that, it'll tweak things to be a little better. It might not make sense when I say it. However, in my head, it made sense.
it does. We are all loving and supporting each other in our own ways. Sometimes we're talking in circles. Sometimes we don't think that we sound like it because these things are on our ears and we're doing the best we can. It's kind of distracting in this padded room. Your connection is kind of a little bit interrupted. And that's the most amazing thing, is learning to have a pure message and learning to do it the best you can without calling in distortions. I mean, you can make it sound very elegant and pull in stuff that you read from somebody else, but why? So, we know when there's maybe a distortion, you stop and you're like, that's the most amazing thing about life is be your unique design and figure out how you feel, figure out who you are. And then it's so much easier to discern where other people's energies are, who they are to you and for you. And, a lot of us empaths and workers take people's face-to-face energy and see their potential personalities, their potential energy, and who they are in the stars. And sometimes that doesn't match their actions towards us. And so we love them still. We love them, and we'll show up when they're ready to be here. So that's what we're going to do today is tap into the crystalline caves, connect I'll just a short meditation to kind of share what I do daily, and bring up some energies. And this is spirit guided. I go into an energy and kind of a trance, and so I just go with what is said. So I'll translate what I'm seeing the best that I can. So I invite you to relax, sit back, and really focus on your body. And if you're driving in a car, please either pull over or click it off for another time. And remember that energy work and healing know no time and difference. It's spirit shows up when you need it to, because it's your design, it's your activations, it's your universal connection. And out of this world, there is no time. So let's tap into that beautiful moment, and let's imagine this most amazing white light above your head. The source of all that is, you can call it God, creator, whatever feels good to you, but it's that one thing, that one that loves you, that created you, and that sends you life every day. Imagine this most beautiful tunnel of a light moving down the core of your body, placing you in your own unique pillar of light. Moves down each one of the chakras, which these are the energy fields or energy centers inside of your body. And when these are in alignment, they govern certain parts of your body: blood, bones, cells, and so on. When they're cleared and cleansed, they will move into each one of those cells of your body, those parts of your body. They'll move straight down into the pelvic area, out your feet, and into the heart core of Mother Earth. And in this heart core is the most delightful ray of light. Looks as diamond flames, the pools of diamonds. Imagine that moving up your feet, calling your unique design, tapping you into those crystalline caves where your intelligence is stored, where this design you created before you came is placed. Feel it move up the bottom of your feet. You can breathe through your mouth like a straw, breathing this energy of you up your body, out the top of your head, connecting you to that heart center of all that is above and all that is below. And as you're calling on the crystalline caves, that fluid substance as water, you're imagining, feeling, or sensing it move in a circular pattern in the core of your body, raising your energies, bringing more clarity into your awareness, raising your consciousness, seeking a more profound version of you so that you can show up in life the best you. Feel that universal design that you are attracting right now. Move into the heart space, expand out around you. And if at this time you feel anything uncomfortable inside the body, such as a heaviness, a cold or hot, breathe into it through your nose, imagining a white light move right into that area. Hold it and breathe it out. And remember that that breath is spirit, the most profound energy in the universe that holds you as a design. The most powerful way you can express it here is through your heart. And it comes within, and that is the soul, universal. And all there is in the universe is the light of love. The other is 99.9% darkness. And at this moment, right now, you are creating your shine in the universe. Because you expand in the universe and you add light to the universe, to you, when you do this work. So simple and so profound at the same time. And when you're breathing in this next breath, I invite you to breathe it into the core of your stomach, releasing any attachments, anything that does not serve you any longer, releasing it to the ultimate dimensions, to the universe, dissolving it and bringing back fractals of your soul that either you've given away, people have taken, or you left behind. And as you breathe a deep breath in, you're going to feel your energy move forward, backwards, left, to the right, above, and below. And expand that as far as is comfortable for you at this time. And now go to the universal white light above you. Maybe it's a diamond flame. Maybe it's purple. Whatever you're seeing, take a deep breath through your nose. Breathe that energy into your heart. And remember, you are swimming through the universe every day. Raising your consciousness and awareness opens up the third eye. It opens up expansion, consciousness, pure light. And you begin to connect and see more of that. You see the definition of the trees and the way that they have these different elements of light or facets of colors. Feel that expansion. Feel the light in your body. And then each breath that you breathe in, you breathe out anything that doesn't serve you. It will add more light. And this energy will move through for 4 hours. We'll run it for 4 hours. And we give gratitude to angels, guides, spirit team, soul team, any and all things that showed up in your highest good that are of the light. And so it be, so it be, so it be. And now we invite you to feel your toes and fingers and feel your hands, because you're attached. You just tapped into your own energy, the universal love. Feel, especially in your left hand. Do you have those tingles in your hands? Do you have the tingles in your feet? Hot, warm, cold? What are you feeling right now? Write it down. And each week when we come to you at these moments, you're going to have you're going to have map of intent that each week new things are happening, and you will be able to remember, because the most amazing thing about expansion is that it happens so fast and joy happens, but then when you plateau at a certain point and you forget what it felt like when you first started. So I invite you to write it down, be expansive with it, love yourself, breathe in that universal love, feel your feet in the ground yourself in earth, and remember that the light above, and when it goes through your body, lightens up those crystalline plasma inside of you. The only way that it is any good here is if it's embodied in your body and grounded into Mother Earth. Otherwise, it's just outside of you. And remember, everything is inside of you, and you express it through your energetic light. So I invite you this week to shine your light, because you were born to shine, so why hide your light? Whew. Thank you.
That was very good. Thank you. I loved it. You're on fire today. Good job.
Yeah, it's interesting how it goes from the slow start to a wham, a big bam. This is your show. If you guys love this, or if you love this part, share what parts of the show you love, and we'll do it in your order. We'll do it in your design. Say what you want more of. Say what helps the most. Say what you don't like. Because we learn through, I don't like to focus on that, but when you're saying this doesn't really work, that I want to give you what works, because where I'm at, I died, came back, forgot a lot of stuff. So there's some things that I can show you, but I don't know how to teach them. So there are these little bridges of foundation. So email us, Energy Healing by Design, Nicole Ashton on Facebook. And then how do they reach you?
Hands Healing Hearts, April Betty. I'm on Facebook too. Can I say one thing? I love, like, you're just on fire today. I can see you're just shining, beaming. And just imagine if you're always like that, or when you are like that and you go and hug somebody, you could transfer some of that light over to them. So sometimes before someone even speaks, if you feel they're like a little off, just get a hold of them and visualize that going right into their heart. Give them some of that overflow.
Yeah, and right now there's people that aren't able to hug right now. A lot of people, so we can virtual hug. I feel like that this needs to really be taught, that you hold your heart and you hold this space that we're holding right now. We're sharing. April's across the room from me, and she can feel it. Like right now, energetically hug yourself and imagine vision. Like this hug. Who do you want to hug? Your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your mate, your and so on.
In the whole world.
Yeah, a group hug. Let's do it.
Okay.
We have just a few minutes. Let's do it. Take a deep breath in and hug. Oh, wow.
Do those Care Bear stares.
Yes, joy. And remember, joy. When you're having controversy, when the chaos is happening, the most powerful thing that you can do, or calling from the universe, is you show up in an observation state of joy. And I know sometimes it's hard, but you trust so much in yourself that if you share joy with that person suffering, that they have a chance to step out of it. But if you go into that suffering state, you both are in that same energy. So we challenge you to try these exercises, do virtual hugs, reach out to us, share what you guys want from us, what you need from us. And again, I'm Nicole Ashton. You can reach me at energyhealingbydesign.com.
April Betty at handshealinghearts.com.
You've been listening to Return to Consciousness with your host, Nicole Ashton, creator of Energy Healing by Design, a world-renowned healer and luminary whose life after death experience has allowed her the gift of empowering people around the globe to heal and grow in their true authentic space. For audio and or video of this, go to Facebook or YouTube, Podbean or Spotify, and search Radio St. George or radiostgeorge.com. We invite you back next Wednesday at 4 o'clock for Return to Consciousness with Nicole Ashton on Radio St. George 100.3 FM.